And we are live. What is up, Confidential Cinema? I'm Chance Ellison. I'm the newest addition to the Confidential Cinema team. And I'm literally only here to do this show. This is the only reason Henry went on and got me. He doesn't want my ideas, doesn't want my input on anything. He just wants a good top 5 show. And you know what? Because I'm a giving host, I'm going to give it to him. Because this is the inaugural episode of the top 5 with Chance Ellison. And this is my first show, so I had to start off big. And, because of nothing coming out this week and Hellboy was last week, I decided to do the top 5 best portrayals of a superhero to kick myself off. And I have a great panel to discuss with me today. So I got some new blood. I got some returning favorites. First of which, the biggest returning favorite, he is gotten a reputation as my sidekick. He is Zach Ford. Zach, how you doing and how drunk are you?
I'm only 3 beers in, but I'll try to get one per nomination as we continue. I still think the best option for changing up from Full Metal 5 is to let me take over. I had all the categories planned. Top 5 Noah Baumbach quirky characters. Top 5 sweaters in movies. And now it's all just going to go into flames. But I'm happy I can still be the sidekick. I still expect a pay increase with the new channel, though. So hopefully that happens.
We will negotiate your pay increase if you get one when we rewrite your new contract. Next to him, you may recognize him as the now finalist in the Confidential Cinema Trivia Tournament. The dude is an absolute firecracker. It is Dominic Rizzi. Dom, how you doing?
What's up? I'm here to eat chicken and talk about superheroes and just have fun as per usual. It's late. I'm really tired, but I'm happy to be here.
Is that your Tinder profile title? I'm here to eat chicken and watch superhero movies?
It honestly should be. That's actually literally a great Tinder profile title, Zach. Thank you for
that. Just for reference, I will be changing my Tinder profile to that description shortly after this, and it will say, I am all out of chicken. Now,
I'm almost out of chicken.
Dom's almost out. Not quite yet. Now, next up, I have two new people. First of which, someone who's a little newer to the community. I hope I don't butcher his name. It's Kurt Kowalkowski. I hope I said that right.
Nailed
Kurt,
it.
How you doing?
You nailed it. Very good,
Nice.
Chance. Thanks for having me.
Right.
Excited to be here. Great topic. Great group of guys here. So I think we're having some fun tonight.
Yes, and rounding out this panel, some of you might be wondering why I'm doing the show much later than I usually do. Well, it's because there's a certain person I want to get on. I move heaven and earth for very few people. This man is one of them. You may recognize him from his appearance in the movie Schmoedown. He is the Smasher, Kevin Smets. Kevin, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, Chance, man. Thank you for keeping it a little later here. I appreciate it. I know it's later for all you East Coast folks, but I'm excited to do this. I'm not wearing a hoodie today. I got a hat on. I got my thinking hat, and I'm ready to rock this. So I got some wild cards here. I got some weird ones that hopefully I can convince some of you guys.
you and Zach may want to have a little talk after the show. Anyway,
Kevin, you've got my vote if they're weird.
Anyway, so with the new channel change and with the new show, come some new rules. But first, you're gonna get the rules out of the way first. First of which, we will curate a top 5 list right here live for you people. We go in 3 different selection processes. The first one is the nominations period. What we're each going to do is we're each going to go around and nominate a certain superhero portrayal. Just a reminder, this is cumulative. So we're not going to go like, oh, this person in this movie, or this person in this movie. No, it's the entirety of the performance in all the movies he's been in. Or she, who knows. We're going to go around the table and nominate someone to be on the list until we get to a top 7. In order for a person to make the top 7, has to get 3/5 majority votes. The new rule of the nominations period is not Zach Ford, don't listen to him, I will get 1 veto per episode. If something gets on the list that I don't like, I can veto it and get it off. So I recommend kissing my ass. I would just say that right now. And I have to do it before the top 7. I can only veto when something's being voted on. I can't come back something that was got on the list first and veto it later. So that's how that's going to work. So with all the rules out of the way, I'm going to go to myself first. Now, in my mind, there are 2 no-brainers on this list, and I'm going to get the first one out of the way right off the gates, because my first nomination is going to be Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Now, keep in mind, Hugh Jackman was actually the second choice to play this role. The only only reason he got it was because Dougray Scott had to drop out because of Mission Impossible 2. Not even 3, too. So, Mission Impossible 2 was good for one thing at least. And I think it was a change much for the better because, Hugh Jackman, he's one of those people who, as soon as he stepped on the scene, you didn't see an actor playing a character. You saw a character you grew up reading. You've grown up reading for years. In every movie, no matter, despite the various quality X-Men movies, the one constant is Hugh Jackman delivering an awesome performance. I don't think the dude is capable of giving a bad performance as Wolverine. From the first X-Men to Logan, the dude delivered 1,000%, and I think he's a no-brainer to make top 7, which is why I'm bringing him up now. So I'm gonna go to, since he's a noob, I'm gonna go to Kirk first. Kirk, Hugh Jackman, does he make top 7?
Yeah, he was on my list. I'll vote yeah on him. I'll definitely go. I agree with you. He's been the best part of just about every X-Men movie he's been in, and definitely if it wasn't for everything else, Logan alone, I think his performance in that movie earns him a spot. I'll go yes on Jackman.
All right, so that's one yes, and Zach, I know X-Men is your favorite. I think action fan, if I'm not mistaken. So Zach, Hugh Jackman, does he make a top 7? Are you holding out for James Marsden and Cyclops?
Yeah, I'm a huge X-Men apologist. The only X-Men movie I don't like is Origins, which is a big statement. But there's 2 possible nominees on here that we pretty much get to see the full, circle of this character, or one of them we're about to, hint, hint. But that we really see them from, their kind of origins to, their full ending that we see with Logan and Hugh Jackman. And I think what sets us apart from Robert Downey Jr., who's the other one I'm hanging at that we got to see as thorough of a storyline, is that his best performance is his last performance as a character in his, 8th movie? He's Hugh Jackman? Whatever number. But it's insane that when your, 7th, 8th movie as a character is one of the best performances you ever given, shows how much passion he has, how well he has been able to craft that character and, become that character, that the more he does it, the better he becomes, because more people get exhausted, which I say could happen. I see a little bit that with Robert Downey Jr., but you never saw the Hugh Jackman. You can tell how much that character means to him in every scene he's in. So, yeah, Rover's the shit. Hugh Jackman's great. Yes.
All right, so that is it. Hugh Jackman is the first person to make our top 7. Dom, Kevin, you didn't get votes. Dom, what would you have said about Hugh Jackman?
Yay, no brainer.
Oh yeah,
that's what I thought. And Kevin, are you gonna oppose, or would you have said yes, Hugh Jackman?
Yeah, it's a yes. He's literally on my top 2, and the fact that he got a lot of pushback at first because he's not 5'3" or 5. What is it? Wolverine stats are 5'2", short and buff. He came in with a lot of people kind of going after him, that's not that great. And I love him in Logan. I love the Wolverine too. So yeah, that's a no-brainer for me too.
All right, so yeah, it would have been a clean sweep for Hugh Jackman. Kevin, since you're our special guest, I'm going to go to you next. What do you want to put up for top 7 first?
All right, well, I'm going to go. I know I can get on the list for sure if I say Robert Downey Jr., but I'm going to go with another one, which I think will still make it, but I have a different reason for it, and that's Chris Evans as Captain America, and here's why. You try to script Captain America and you read the comics. It's a guy wearing a freaking American flag, basically, as a costume. And not only that, he was the Human Torch or whatever. He was the Torch in Fantastic Four, where he plays pretty much
Torch.
So you see that, and then you're like, wait, they cast him as Captain America. How's he gonna pull it off? And how is he gonna pull it off where he's not super cheesy? Especially at that time where some of the superhero movies were darker. We're talking, 2011, where that's right before The Dark Knight Rises. So and right after, after 2008 with The Dark Knight and stuff. But he still was able to give an edge to Cap, especially what I really love about him in Infinity War. One of my favorite parts is when Vision thanks him after getting saved, and the old Cap would have been oh yeah, no problem, But he doesn't say anything. He kind of just nods his head and says, "Let's get you on the ship." So he's had that arc where he's not just some star-spangled boy. He's gone through a lot of shit. And at this point, pardon my language, but at this point, Cap he's able to basically as the actor Chris Evans portray a completely different character than the douchey Fantastic Four movies, and he's done it well. And you look at him now, and he is Captain America. So I got to go Chris Evans.
Kevin, let me just say, I've done this show long enough to the point where I know we can get nothing except an R rating. So it doesn't. So you can curse all you want.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
First of all, I'm going to go to me first. This is one I had written down. I didn't rank. I kind of just wrote down ones that I was keeping in consideration. And it's actually one that, well, Captain America has never been my favorite Avenger. Never been anybody's favorite Avenger.
Yeah.
But like, I think you slowly kind of saw his rise to prominence, and I think a big reason for that is the performance that Chris Evans gives. Like, the dude absolutely owns the role. And it's funny to think, like, I remember when I first heard he was cast, and just like the first time I heard he was cast when they did the whole like big Comic-Con thing to promote the Avengers, the Avengers announcement, and I heard like, yeah, Chris Evans, Captain America. I was just like, wait, really? That guy? Whatever. Hopefully it works, but like, they proved me wrong. He really did. I think. Like, he's the reason that Captain America. He's the reason so many people are Captain America fans. He's the reason he's risen to prominence. So I'm gonna give Chris Evans a yes. I think Chris Evans should be on the list. Definitely top 7. Dom, what do you say about Chris Evans?
I give it a yay. I think Chris Evans is an extremely underrated acting choice in the MCU. I think he has a lot of gravitas, and he is. I'm not gonna say it's one of the situations where the writing helps enhance the character, but he definitely adds. He definitely gives an edge of like depression and otherworldliness to Cap that doesn't feel cheesy, but also still makes you understand that he is a man out of time. So yeah, I'll give it a yay. It's a really inspired casting choice that really works. And Evans is matured with the role as well.
So that's it. Chris Evans, I think his beer has to be counted separately, but Chris Evans makes the top 7. Kirk, Zach, you didn't get votes. Kirk, what would you say about Chris Evans?
Yeah, he was a bubble pick for me. Wouldn't have made my personal top 5, but would have made the top 7. So yeah, I would have went yes on him.
And Zach, what would you say about Chris Evans?
He's an absolute no for me. I actually like
Really?
Captain America movies quite a bit, but I think what sets him differently than any other movies in the Marvel Universe is you can plug pretty much any other like lacrosse playing bro from an Ivy League school into his role, and they'll have the same blank face to do a kind of a blanked faced version of Captain America because he is charmless, and that's kind of what the character's written as. But that's just Chris Evans and who he is, and he brings. I just don't think he brings anything unique to it that someone else can't do. So I'm a no. Chris Evans is famously on my list of random actors that I talk shit about on the show. So.
Really?
Come up soon.
We got to add Chris Evans to that. We got that Chris Evans with the list like Billy Crudup.
Chris Evans, Patrick Wilson, and
like Jenner.
The who to be named
Billy Crudup.
Billy
Okay,
Crudup.
well. All right.
Yeah,
so Zach Marsh has a problem with those guys actors.
Yeah, I have a problem with boring fucking actors that do nothing on screen. Yes.
Yeah.
Got it.
Billy Crudup is pretty boring.
Zach.
He's the best. He's the worst actor in great movies. Billy Crudup.
Zach, I'm gonna go to you next.
Let me look at my list. I'm gonna alternate, I think, between somewhat predictable and crazy picks. This one, you can loophole the shit out of me on this, saying he's not technically a superhero, but I will say one of my favorite Marvel performances and someone who's very much a connective piece, especially with Captain Marvel coming out, is Samuel L. Jackson. Is fucking incredible as Nick Fury. Is like bringing all the best aspects of Samuel L. Jackson into full fruition into this character and making it something I think more different than the comics were in, as Chris Evans is pretty much what Captain America is supposed to be. So just plug him in. He makes Nick Fury his own, powerful, badass character and someone who you can see being a leader amongst all these people who have superpowers, even though he doesn't necessarily have it. But he has the charm and the charisma and the just overall personal strength, in his voice and his character to bring it out. So Samuel Jackson forever is my pick.
All right. So Samuel Jackson as Nick Fury is that seems like a Zach pick for the top 7. I'm gonna go to Kirk, who is not whose vote didn't count last time. Kirk, what do you say about Captain America? Sorry, Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury.
I'm a big Sam Jackson fan. I enjoy watching him pretty much anything. He's always having fun no matter what he's doing. But as far as a top 7 portrayal of a superhero, I'm going to go no on this. I think he does a great job as Nick Fury. But and like I said, he's a lot of fun every time he's on screen. But there's nothing in that performance that really grabs me like a lot of the other guys on my list. So I'm a no for Sam.
All right, so that's 1 no for Sam Jackson. I'm going to go to Kevin next, who has the last nomination. Kevin, Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury.
I mean, if we were doing maybe like top 25 or something, he can make it. But like, it's not like, this is not even a 6-man off the bench. You know what I mean? Like, he's a good coach. So like, if I was trying to like build a team and stuff like that, obviously that's what he does. He builds a team. And he's great. He's great in the after credit scene. He kind of disappeared for a while though. And to be honest, when he disappeared for some of those movies, like in Civil War and stuff, I don't think a lot of us really missed him. And I think he was great in Captain Marvel. But I mean, when you're looking at someone that's like, is a key. I mean, I'm taking into consideration too, like the performances and the acting. And he's himself. He's playing Samuel L. Jackson with an eye patch, and he's great. But like you could CGI an eye patch on other movies that he's been in, and it's Samuel L. Jackson. So I'm gonna have to say no on that one.
Oh, I you know what? We now need to just edit eye patches into various Samuel L. Jacksons. I want to see him as Peregrine Peculiar Children with an eye patch.
I think if I wear an eye patch, I would have a lot better classroom management in my job.
Oh, you're also a teacher. I'd love to have a teacher with an eye patch.
Yeah. No one's going to fuck a teacher with an eye patch.
I think I like Samuel L. Jackson Nick Fury a little bit more than Kevin apparently does. I think
I don't hate
that you need an actor with that. No. I think you need an actor with like some gravitas to kind of really kind of ground that role. And I think Samuel L. Jackson was a great choice. And I think it was Mark Millar who kind of rewrote Samuel L. Jackson, not Nick Fury, to be a black guy with Samuel L. Jackson in mind. He actually got cast. I think that's incredible. And I think Samuel L. Jackson is kind of perfect for that role. But in the end, there are other people who play actual superheroes that I would rather put on this list than Samuel L. Jackson. Not that he's not great, but I think there are better candidates for this list. So, Zach, I'm going to have to shut you down. Samuel L. Jackson does not make top 7.
Trying to get all mine rejected so then I can take off
Chris. Oh, so that you can check something off? Okay. Old strategy, Cotton's pulls off for him. And so, Dominic, what would you have said about Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury?
Yeah, I would have said no. I love Sam as Nick Fury. He's incredible in every movie that he's in, but he's not a superhero. He's a glorified ring. He's the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's not a superhero. It's great casting. It's fucking great, but he's not a superhero.
Is Batman a superhero? He has as much powers as fucking
Shut up, Zach.
He has as much.
Shut up.
Oh my God.
That's the same logic as saying Iron Man is. That's the same logic as saying Iron Man is a superhero. Shut up.
Nick Fury is not rich as shit, and he's not a superhero.
No, Nick Fury. No, that's like saying that's like saying Amanda. That's like saying Amanda Waller's a superhero.
All right.
That's like saying Amanda Waller's a superhero.
We can debate Nick Fury as a superhero later, but Dom, I'm going to go to you next for your first nomination.
Oh shit, it's my turn. Okay, do I go like actual? do I go obscure? Okay, all right. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go. I could have gone really obvious here. I had a few obvious choices that I was thinking of, but screw it. I'm going obscure. My favorite superhero casting that I'm going for my first nomination. And this one, I actually allowed. It's checked. It's based off a comic. It's a Mark Millar comic. But when this movie came out, when I saw this movie, I was shocked because this little girl was my age, and I have never seen a 13-year-old kick more ass than in the movie Kick-Ass. That, of course, being Chloe Grace Moretz as Minnie McCready, a.k.a. Hit Girl. This was the perfect casting because so many times in movies we see kids get cast. And in these parts where they curse a bunch, but it doesn't really come out natural. I think that 2 people have nailed that. I think James Gunn nailed that with Ellen Page. Even though she was she was already a teenager by that point. Mid early 20s in Super. And I think that Matthew Vaughn completely nailed that with Chloe Grace Moretz in Kick-Ass because he was able to tap into the humanity of that little girl and helping to translate across the more fun side of the awful things that she's doing. I think Chloe Grace Moretz completely nailed that. And that is why she is my nomination for Best Superhero Casting as Hit Girl from Kick-Ass. Do I have your support, gentlemen?
Gotta admit, this is one I actually did not see coming. Either way, Chloe Grace Moretz as Hit Girl in Kick-Ass is up for top 7. I'm gonna go to Zach first this time.
So I had to leave that call in the middle of it because I was just so appalled by this choice. That's not true, but I am a no. The Kick-Ass movies are fucking miserable. Like most movies based on Mark Millar movies are, because it's all about shock and hyper violence, and that's what's exciting and cool. Let's fucking have a 10-year-old like chop off people's fucking head. Look how cool
It's great.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Smart.
You don't enjoy good
really
carnage.
Close to pedophilia in a sense of this fetishism of 12-year-olds. But
wow.
Okay,
you went there.
But either way, it is. Well, that's exactly, the movie's too far, and because it's supposed to be amusing just because of how intense it is, and that stuff's never gonna go for me. It's an okay performance for what she was given, but it's an overwritten, overdone character. I apologize for the pedophilia jokes, and now we move forward.
Welcome to the first and last episode of the Top 5.
Strong support from Zach Marshmore.
There it is.
I'm gonna go to Kevin next. Kevin, your thoughts on Chloe Grace Moretz as Hit Girl?
You know what? I'm gonna give this pick a shot because I actually have her on my list. I mean, she single-handedly, like, whenever I love Bad Reputation, Joan Jett, and now when I hear that song, I think of her just killing fools. So, I mean, she, if we're R-rated here, she said the word cunt. Come on, she nailed it. I know it's shock and awe, but like, she was a little girl. You know how bad there are bad kid actors out there. Believe me, I know. I was one of them. Like, there are bad kid actors out there. And she nailed it, dude. She did so well. She really makes you, with that first scene with Tra La La, that song, Banana Splits, when she's killing everybody and then she keeps looking over at him like, hi, like, and just killing everybody. It is so amazing. I wish I saw it in the theater opening night when that first came out, because I didn't, but I'm assuming that place roared like opening day, at a stadium. So I'm going to say yes. I'm going to give her a shot. I know we're trying to get a top 5 here, and we start with the top 7, and there are just people that are on the Mount Rushmore that we assume are going to be up there, but man, I think we got to go after some of these dark horses. So I'm going to give some love to Hit Girl and say
Hell yeah, Kevin.
Not love
Hell
Hit
yeah
Girl in that way, but
God.
yes.
Your whole reason was she says the C word and she smiles while she kills people. It's great. A 10-year-old says cunt.
She was a kid actor when she got cast in that, and she was able to nail that and have gravitas just hanging out with Nicolas Cage. And
I will say,
that's a very fair point.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. Fuck that guy. She's better than Aaron Taylor Johnson.
I will give you that. She's better than Aaron Taylor Johnson, who is still great in that movie.
Okay. Decorum. All right, I'm gonna go to me. I'm gonna go to me for my vote. I think that's the first time we've heard the word cunt used on this show. I'm gonna go to me next. Now I will kind of go opposite Zach because I agree with Dom and Kevin. Chloe Grace Moretz in the first Kick-Ass is awesome. Like, she completely stole the show from Nicolas Cage in a discount Batman suit holding a shotgun. That's hard to do, especially thinking that was Nicolas Cage at his like crazy Nicolas Cage stage. So yeah, she did command a lot of presence. She did have. I do think you're kind of underselling her performance, Zach, by saying it's just too much gratuitous violence. However, you say just too much. I feel the same way about the second Kick-Ass, which I rewatched recently, and honestly, she's not very good in that movie. It feels like she doesn't want to be there. And we gotta do cumulative. I can't do that. We gotta look at the whole spectrum of her performance. And I feel like since half of that doesn't really deliver, I got to give her a no. So I'm going to go to Kirk for the deciding vote. Does Chloe Grace Moretz as Hit Girl make top 7?
No, she's not going to make it. If we were doing top 15, top 20, 25, she might make it as a dark horse. But if we're trying to find the top 7 all time, she's just not there. I actually thought about the Kick-Ass movies when I was making my list, and honestly, she didn't even cross my mind. It was violence for violence sake. I agree with Zach, but I enjoyed it. But when you went beneath that, I don't think there was that much below that performance. So that's shock and all. Although I enjoyed it, is enough for me to make the list.
All right,
Damn.
so Hit
Haters.
Girl does not make top 7. I think we're starting a rivalry between Dominic and Zach Ford, which means to round it
Kevin
out,
gets
we're
it,
going to
though.
go to Kirk for his first nomination.
Okay, I'm going to go. I'll play it safe here because this is the one that I most want to talk about, and this is the one I think most needs to be talked about. If we're mentioned Mount Rushmore, if we're doing the Mount Rushmore of superhero portrayals on film, this is probably the first face you're going to have to carve, and I think it's Christopher Reeve in Superman. I think that guy had such a hard job to do for decades. Superman was a joke. It's like, oh, it's just a pair of glasses. How's anybody going to buy that costume? Then you watch him play those two characters. You're like, that's how. He in that movie, Clark Kent and Superman are two different individuals. He plays them both completely different, and he nails both of them. We see later on with the later on-screen adaptions of Superman how difficult that character is to get. And Christopher Reeve just nailed it right out of the gate. I know some of the later movies aren't that good, but I think his performance is still strong. His Superman is just so different in that there's no edge to him. He just rounded out on all the edges, but he's still a badass. You still respect him, and he still carries that gravitas with him. I think about the scene. I think it's in Superman 2 when he decides he's going to tell Lois who he is, and he changes his mind. He takes the glasses off and he stands up, and you see, the dude grows right in front of you like 6 inches, and then he changes his mind, puts the glasses back on, and shrinks back down, and you see that transformation between two actual individual people. And I've never seen anybody do that in a movie before. So I think Christopher Reeve's no brainer.
All right, so we have Christopher Reeve as Superman up for top 7. I'm gonna go to Dominic first.
That's a yay for me. It's no doy. I don't even need to add that much more to this discussion. It's like the first superhero casting. Even if he's not the best in comparison to others, for the part that he's given, he more than exceeded expectations for the role.
All right, so that is one yes for Superman, for Christopher Reeve as Superman, I should say. I'm gonna go to Zach next. Zach,
Yeah.
Christopher Reeve Superman.
Yeah, I think Superman the movies just don't fucking hold up at all. I think they're very carried on by nostalgia, and him, like many other people in our history of civilization, gets too much credit for being the first. And same thing as like Beatles being the best band ever. They were just early on in this, Brit pop rock fan. You hear me, George Washington and Neil Armstrong. First people do shit overrated. Just because you're older than us doesn't make you better. So.
Wow.
Just because he was the first Superman and he was around, everyone wants to give him the credit, but just because he's existed in the 70s doesn't make him better than anyone who came after that was able to grow upon what he was able to start. We're not saying the most important people within superhero movies, which you could put him there because he set the precedent for what to come. We're saying like the best version, and everyone's able to improve. So, no to Christopher Reeve.
Wow.
R.I.P.
All right, so biggest takeaway from that is screw you, Neil Armstrong and George Washington. I'm gonna go to Kevin.
Yeah, that honeymoon suite hotel scene where he does. I know exactly that scene he's talking about, and he does. And it's hard to encapsulate a character that puts glasses on and he acts totally different. You know what I mean? And so look, I'm a little older than you guys. You guys are all kids. I think I'm the old guard here. You got to give him credit. I know he might be the first. That's not why I'm giving it to him, though. He was able to pull off, like our friend said, he was able to pull off, when Cavill wears those he's still Cavill with glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Comments in the chat saying, hottest take Cavill over Reeve. No way, man. By the way, I love the DCEU. I'm one of the minorities that actually loves those movies, and I love Man of Steel. I probably like Man of Steel better than the 80s or like the superhero movie or the Superman movies. But I got to say, him in Superman 2 and in Superman 1, he had to wear that spandex. Are you kidding? And come on, we have Dark Clark Kent. What was the one where he was drinking whiskey? You know what I mean? In Superman 3, come on, he's drinking whiskey because he had. Dude, that's a yes for me, dude. I got to get him in there. He's got to. This list will not have any credit if we don't have Christopher Reeve on there. You got to respect your elders. You got to respect the past. That's like not putting
It's
on.
not best.
I don't know, man. That's not like putting Larry Bird on a list of top NBA players because he was old. Like, get out of there. Reeves is on there, yes.
Larry Bird is your go-to?
Well,
He's also not a top 5 player. I'm not putting Larry Bird on there because he's old. My grandpa's old. I'm not putting him as one of the top 5 humans because he's been around longer than me. He's not even top 5 family member.
Did your grandfather wear a Superman costume, though? We got to see that. Maybe your grandfather needs to be on the list.
I'm not allowed to watch those tapes.
Wow. Okay. First of all, we found out that Zach's grandparents might have been in some lucrative business decisions. Two, the rest of the show will now be dedicated to the top 5 basketball players of all time. Sorry, but you got to change the title. And 3, Christopher Reeve makes the list. And oh wow, we can talk about that later. Going to me, this would have been a yes for me. Also, this for me. I think I agree with what was said. This does set the precedent for what really a superhero portrayal could be on film. I think Christopher Reeve, he is like the grandfather of like superhero portrayals, and that's not a bad thing. And it does. I think Zach again is undercutting his performance by saying like, oh, you're just saying because he did first. No, because he did it well and he did better than anybody else to come after him, including Cavill. Which I mean, you watch some of his deliveries; it's like watching a block of wood try to act. But
good score though. Good.
Come
score.
back to me.
I think watching the whole original Superman is like watching a piece of wood.
We're not talking about best movie. We're talking about best portrayals.
Yeah, best performance. That's the question, not the movie itself.
Yeah.
All right, going back to me.
There in Man of Steel, that would have been epic.
All right, back to me. I'm surprised he hasn't been brought up yet, and I'm kind of happy to because I want to be the one to bring him up because my next nomination is going to be, we kind of mentioned him earlier. My next nomination is Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark.
Oh, yeah.
Now you talk about someone who just, I think, so needed to be the backbone of a major franchise and a backbone of a franchise that would go on to set a precedent for comic movies to come for the next like 20 years. Now, from the second he stepped onto the scene in that first Iron Man, he, like Hugh Jackman, he became Tony Stark. And you can really tell, like, it was a weird choice to go with Robert Downey Jr., a dude who at that point was kind of washed up. Yes, he was kind of mounting his comeback, but I think this was the one. The combination of this and Tropic Thunder really kind of catapulted that. But you can really see how much Robert Downey Jr. took to the role, how much of himself he put into this role, and how much this role has really defined him as a person and really defined his career as a whole. And it really a lot for the better. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. became one of the biggest stars in the world, all because he was so great as Tony Stark. So I really think he's another, I think, no-brainer for top 7. So I'm throwing him up there. I'm gonna go to Kirk first this time. Kirk.
Yeah, totally agree.
Or Downey Jr.
Yeah, totally agree with you. No brainer. Definitely in my top 5. I feel like they gave him a pretty run-of-the-mill superhero origin story. And, I mean, he just took that and ran. And his performance as Iron Man, he really became Tony Stark. And I think the one thing to notice about him is when people talk about Iron Man, they don't call him Iron Man. They call him Tony Stark. And you don't see that with anybody else. You don't see it with Batman. You don't see it with Spider-Man. Even when he's got the full armor on, you see a picture of him like, oh, it's Tony Stark. And I think that really is a credit to Robert Downey Jr. and how he captured that character. So, yeah, absolutely.
All right, so that is one yes. I have a feeling I'm very curious where Zach's going to go on this. We can go to Zach next.
No, because it was the first MCU movie.
It's another 1%. No, another 1%er, just rich and buy the fucking suit. No, I'm a yes with Robert Downey Jr. He's another one that along with Hugh Jackman, you really get to see, the full growth of this character and change over the amount of films. So he's fortunate to have as many films as he does. It makes him have more opportunity to show what he can do with this single character. It's remarkable. It's also, career changing for him. It brought him back and resuscitated him back to life. It made him an A-lister again with reason. We saw what charm he can have and what charm he can have with all ages, which is important. He can entertain, 7-year-olds as much as he can 65-year-olds. And I think that can, save him till he's old now. So Robert Downey Jr. is a for sure yes for me.
All right, so that is it. Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark makes the top 7. I also got to point out that in the live chat going on right now, there's a conversation about the actual best basketball players of all time.
I know. I was going to mention that.
Mine is the right answer.
I was going to mention that. It's good to see them.
Comment on the both of the page as to like what the top 5 actually ends up being, because I'm actually really curious. So Robert Downey Jr. is the next person to make the top 7. I'm going to go to well, Dom and Kevin didn't give votes. Dom, what would you say about RDJ?
Yeah, no brainer.
That's what I thought. And Kevin, what would you say?
Yeah, that's going to be Jordan, Kobe, and then LeBron. So, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, he's for sure. I think the argument is going to be if it's him or Hugh Jackman is number 1. Like, that's going to be the big that's the main event of today's festivities. So, for tonight's festivities. For sure. He's in.
All right, we'll see. But Kevin, we go back to you for your next nomination, sir.
Oh, I'm up. Damn.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna try another one here. This, and I think this is interesting, but I don't think you guys are gonna vote him in, but we'll see. I'm gonna do Mark Ruffalo for Hulk, and here's why. He, that was a tough character to nail because of Ed Norton. Ed Norton, I thought, did a fine job on Incredible Hulk, which I think is an underrated movie. But I think Ed Norton portrayed Bruce Banner a totally different way. I think Mark Ruffalo, when he first comes on screen in the Avengers and he's doing that thing with his hands and he has that nervous, it's all about like his capture of Bruce Banner is so good. And that he turned, people thought that Hulk was a joke. Like, honestly, like after Incredible Hulk and after Ang Lee's Hulk, like no one's really wanting a Hulk movie. Then they did Incredible Hulk. And I think when he was popping up in Avengers and they had a recast, I don't think anybody thought that they would see Mark Ruffalo. So I'm going to do this as my dark horse pick, Mark Ruffalo, because of the way he portrayed a nervous Bruce Banner. You could just tell he was never comfortable in his skin, but he was doing that because he knows that at any moment he's going to turn into this giant hulking monster. And then later when he finally came into his own and comfortable with the character, you saw in Ragnarok, he can play that same character but have humor to it. And so I'm going to throw it to you guys. Not sure he's going to make it. I'm not sure he's on the Mount Rushmore of it, but I think that Mark Ruffalo definitely proved us all wrong going into the Avengers in 2012.
All right, so I'm going to go to me first. And I do agree with you. They did have a lot of legwork that had to go into making the Incredible Hulk work on screen again. Because Hulk is, again, Ang Lee's Hulk, because that movie is just awful, painfully dull, and Eric Bana, as Will like as an actor, is just so bad in that movie. I do agree. I do like Edward Norton in the role. I think he did a fine job. But granted, all he did was just play a guy with just like in case rage, aka Edward Norton. I think Mark Ruffalo did a really good job of capturing that guy who, that guy who's like he nailed the scientist part of the role. I'll give him that. And I also think he did a really good job at being someone who. I think it was said in Age of Ultron, someone who like spends his whole life avoiding the fight because he knows he'll win.
Yeah,
I think he did a great job at capturing those nuances. However, there are other superhero portrayals that I would want to get on. There are other people, even in the MCU, that I would want to put on this list for Mark Ruffalo. Not that I don't like him, I just think that there are better people for this list. So I'm gonna slightly edge towards no on Ruffalo. I'm gonna go to Dom next because he didn't get a vote last time. Dom.
All right, so I'm sorry to make you sad, Kevin, but I got to go against you, and this time I actually got to go with Chance, but because I'm not Chance and I don't have an agenda as to who I want on this list, I'll actually give you my reasons why I don't think Ruffalo belongs on the top 7. It is a very inspired casting choice. I think you're right for all the reasons you said, everything having to do with casting, him coming in and just nailing the character, but I do think you're giving Ruffalo a little bit too much credit there. I think we're not giving Joss Whedon enough credit for taking that character, a character who really arguably had the weakest of the 4 origin movies that came beforehand, and just knocked it out of the park writing-wise. And he worked with Ruffalo in order to really help him nail the mannerisms. And I think that in that first Avengers movie, they really knocked it out of the park, and it is solid casting for that one movie. But if we're talking about the rest of his arc, it shifts from him being basically a glorified side character with a really forced subplot in Age of Ultron, because they literally are like, oh shit, we promised we were going to give him something to do, but we have nothing to do with him. Because Whedon just completely drops the ball when it comes to character, how he has the characters bounce off one another in Age of Ultron. And then Thor Ragnarok, he's literally turned into a punchline, where the Hulk is literally just like a cuddly child that just smacks the shit out of Thor again. And then like Banner has a hard time fucking... And then, like, Banner is just there cracking jokes, and then it ends in Infinity War, where he's literally beating the shit out of, and then can't come out. So It's not that I don't love Ruffalo. It's that if you actually look at the hard facts, there's really not a whole lot that they do with him throughout the course of the MCU, which is why, unfortunately, I can't quite put him in the top 7. Great casting for the first Avengers movie, though.
I know what you're saying, for sure.
All right, so that is 2 no's. I'm gonna go to Kirk. See, is he gonna say Ruffalo? Or is he gonna put him to bed?
The problem with Bruce Banner, the character, is that the whole point of his existence is to keep you from seeing what you paid $10 to watch the movie to see.
That's fair. That's true.
And and I feel like Ruffalo was the best of the on-screen Banners we've seen, no question. But I also feel he had the crutch of being a small part of a larger picture, where Banya and Norton had to carry that movie and be that thing standing in your way for the entire run of the movie. And I think that's what hurt them. So I'm going to say no, because I just don't think Banner's a strong enough character. And the weakest out of all the Banner we've seen so far, the weakest, and I think Dominic mentioned this, was Infinity War, when it was Banner the whole time. And that shtick got tired real quick. So
right.
Having just Banner...
Right. So no, you finish. You finish.
No, I was gonna say, I think Banner himself as a character, again, he did a great job, but not top 7 or top 10 worthy.
Wow. First of all, we now have to petition to change the name from Eric Bana to Eric Banya. That's one thing. 2, I can imagine Kirk in the theater saying "Screw you, Banner, we want Hulk."
That's pretty accurate.
Mark Ruffalo does not make top 7. Zach, what do you say about Mark Ruffalo?
Yeah. First of all, I think we're under kind of a little bit that Ruffalo does have a part in the actual portrayal of the Hulk, as far as bringing the voice, and maybe some of the visuals. I don't know how much he actually does, but
he does the motion capture. He does the motion capture behind the scenes,
and it is by far the best Hulk we have seen on screen. But as far as the Banner, Kevin described it perfectly, but that's what I think doesn't fully work for me, is that anxiety and that nervousness that he throws out there, which is, I think, on point with what the character should be. It is a choice, and a choice with a purpose that Ruffalo is making to portray it that way. It makes sense that Banner may be like this, but it's also cinematically kind of annoying and hard to watch for a long amount of time. So I would have been a no.
Okay, so Zach, we go to you for your next nomination.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I had to take my sip of the beer.
I know. I get it.
Really loudly, and I can't hear your voice. Okay, so I decided to go real Zach with this choice here, because I have one above this. But I'm going to go with why I wanted to emphasize the importance of Mark Ruffalo's vocal performance is because vocal performance is a performance of their own, and it doesn't have to be all Marvel and DC things here, but one of the best voice performances we've had in the past 20 years is Holly Hunter as Mrs. Incredible. Holly Hunter as Mrs. Incredible, I feel has a good change between Incredibles 1 and Incredibles 2, where Incredibles 2 you could see her, act out the excitement of being a superhero and being back in it, while Incredibles 1, taking a little more of the motherly stern role, a little more hesitant about, acting out when they have a family. And she captures the idea of being, a mother, and especially, as well as having the excitement of being a hero, and adds so much life to that character and to that film. And I just think sometimes we don't give enough credit to the voice actors within the animation films, giving more credit to, the animators designing those characters. So Holly Hunter, I think, has a lot of credit to give for bringing as much, charisma to that character as there is. So that's my choice.
All right, now keep in mind, I did say this list was superhero portrayals, not comic movie superhero portrayals. So Holly Hunter as Elastigirl is that's a valid choice. So I'm not gonna say it doesn't count. It's on the table. It counts.
Is it more or less valid?
I'm gonna go to.
It's honestly more valid.
It's about the same. Actually, more. No,
more valid. More. She's actually a superhero.
I'm gonna go to. I'm gonna go to Kevin first. Holly Hunter as Elastigirl.
Yeah, she's good in it. I would say I actually agree with a lot of your points. I just think, even just when I finish saying the words Mark Ruffalo, when I'm trying to think, if we're together as a collective trying to come up with the top 5 or top 7, there are just, I think that Holly Hunter just will suffer from the fact that there are other portrayals out there that need to be up there. And that's not taking anything away from her, because I actually like those movies. And I like those movies for the reason he said. And she was good as a Senator Finch in Batman vs. Superman. But that's just going to be a no for me. And that's not out of no disrespect out of Holly Hunter, because I actually really dig those movies. But I'm considering these portrayals too, like the amount of work they have to put in to like physically transform their body to like do the stunt. Not that they do all their own stunts, but just that they're put together and stuff like that. And Holly Hunter for the role of Elastigirl, went in and sat in a VO booth. I know, because this is what I do as a living sometimes, and sat in there and recorded her voice. So when coming up with more of the work that other actors had to do to prepare for their parts, I'm going to say no on Holly Hunter, but I do like the Incredibles movie. So I like the pick, but it's no for me.
All right, so I'm going to go to me next. And yeah, and actually this is one I admittedly kind of forgot about. But now that you bring it up, it actually is getting me thinking, because you're right. She is actually a really good. She is one of the pillars of that movie, and she's getting a good vocal performance in both films. Coho might disagree, say Craig T. Nelson, the star of Incredibles 2, but I would hardcore disagree on that point.
Misogyny.
This is a tough one.
Misogyny.
I'm gonna slightly edge towards no. Also, not that I don't like her, just other people I'd rather have on this list. Gonna go to Kirk. See if he's gonna keep this light or put it to bed.
Yeah, I love The Incredibles. Maybe my favorite just general superhero movie and portrayal of superheroes on screen. They do such a great job of comic book stories. I think better than Marvel or DC are doing right now, to be honest with you. And I love the pick. I don't discount the voice actors, but I am going to go no. And my reason for that is that that movie and that unit and that family is such an ensemble that I have trouble picking one out and saying this is the best. I think they play off each other so well. The interaction is so important, and each piece they bring to the Incredibles family is so crucial that to pick one out and say, yeah, this one is going to go on the list and these ones are down the road, wherever. I just can't do that, so I'm a no.
Well, I mean, if we did that, we'd also have to pick just one of the dashes because they switch between movies.
Yeah.
So I think
it's great. They're both great.
Just a quick poll. It'd be first Dash, right? Dash from Incredibles 1.
Yeah, Dash 1.
That's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Dash
just
1.
making sure. All right. So either way, Dash 1.
His pants
Holly
are
Hunter
Dash 1. Coming dinner.
All right. Dom, what would you have said about?
Yeah, I would have said no. It's a bold choice, Zach. I admire you for going that way. I'm a little bit jealous that of all the animated choices you didn't go Shimmy more from Into the Spider-Verse, but whatever. If it helps, I have a few voiceovers on my list too that I know are not going to get in, but I'm just going to throw them out there. But it's a bold choice, but I would have gone no simply because it's a good choice. She's just not one of my favorites. So I'll admit that's a own personal bias on that one.
Okay. I'm not even gonna make a sexist joke on this one because I'm pretty sure Dom did it himself. Dom, going to you next.
All right, going to me next. So I could have gone another obscure choice, but fuck it. I want something that's actually going to get on the board. We have what, 4 or 5 on the board now? 4, right? Because Danny was 4. 4. Okay, perfect.
4.
This one is definitely This one should definitely get on the board. And if this one doesn't get on the board, you guys are all definitely sexist. Just saying. And no, I'm kidding around. This actually is legitimately an important superhero casting, not because of. Well, just for a lot of different reasons that are going to make me sound like an uber champion. But it's Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, because as the brief little shining spot in the absolute clusterfuck that was Batman versus Superman, somehow nailing that casting completely. It's almost like a shot in the dark. Snyder fascinates me so much as a filmmaker because every single time he is so bad. He is so bad at writing scripts. But every single movie, he finds that one little shining spot, that he completely nails, and it's oh my god, he fascinates me. But anyways, Gal Gadot was that little shining spot in Batman vs Superman, and then she goes on to make her own mediocre movie. That ultimately is, if you look at it, Wonder Woman is a mediocre movie. But her performance is so fucking good in that movie that it elevates that literally to be the shining symbol for the feminist Me Too movement that was 2017. That is no small feat, my friends. That is no small feat at all. And I realize that I'm using that as a kind of a poster child that I've really taken away from her actual performance. But it is legitimately good casting. She brings a lot to that performance. I think, what's it called? Just her overall personality and sensibilities help to give a lot more dimension to that role. It helps make the fish out of water sensibilities feel a lot more natural. It helps make just her more relatable and personable, even in like seemingly awkward encounters that feel scripted by like Hollywood executives. It still feels like a very naturalistic performance, and she deserves a lot of credit for that. It really isn't just a thing of where, oh, should get a lot of credit because it's a great female superhero performance. No, she deserves a lot of credit because it is a great performance of a superhero, and not just any superhero. One of the big three, like the big three DC superheroes, and Gal Gadot was the one that they got for Wonder Woman, and they crushed it, and she absolutely deserves top 7.
All right, so Gal Gadot's up for top 7. This is
Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman.
This is gonna
Actually, was playing
I'm gonna
go talk in the background there.
Yeah, right.
Just to cheer on your choice.
All right, I'm gonna go to Zach first. Zach, Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman.
I'm a definite yes, and Dom had that right on point. That I agree that this would be a mediocre movie if she did not bring so much charm to it. And I think is important. What is a flaw with Superman and in Wonder Woman, in the comic books, let alone the possibilities of their portrayal on screen, is that they essentially, because they're so perfect, can be such boring characters and such boring portrayals. It's hard to bring something new, and Gal Gadot was able to elevate it past just this, character of idealistic persona.
Warrior,
the warrior, and doesn't do anything wrong, and which is kind of what my issue with Chris Evans as Captain America is. It's kind of doesn't go past that, where it's just perfect warrior, go for it, do their honorable thing, but she's able to add so much charm and humor and kind of a real personality for someone who is not a real person, someone who is, a god in a sense. And I think it's pretty remarkable. For me in Batman vs. Superman, she kind of, slid into the background, but because that whole movie slid into the background for me, so I was iffy because of that one. I watched it on the airplane also. So
the irony.
In my opinion is that doesn't matter.
That's the way to watch. Was it Turkish Airlines?
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying.
When given full focus, she was able to do pretty incredible things, and her all the best performances were spotlighting here is really able to elevate their whole careers. Between Robert Downey Jr., Hugh Jackman, and Gal Gadot fits right in there. That has moved her career to a whole new level.
All right, so that's one yes for Gadot. I'm going to go to Kevin next.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a definite yes for me, too. She's great. I mean, also, when she got cast, remember, everybody's like, oh, she's skinny. She's that chick from the Fast and Furious movies. Everybody was wanting Jamie Alexander, if you remember. Like, there was all the dream casting. And she came in. She killed it. She had her accent. Dude, she served in the Israeli military forces for 2 years as a combat instructor. She's Wonder Woman. She's on the list.
Wasn't Natalie Portman in the Israeli force? Also that.
Was she?
Yeah.
So
True.
No, I don't think she did. I think she.
Gal coming over here and kicking my ass if I don't put her up there. But yeah, as someone in my training for Schmoedown has to watch these movies an ungodly amount of times, you just pick up a lot of the nuances. And she was a real pleasure in Batman vs Superman, and I thought that she was great in Wonder Woman. I love the homage to the old Superman movies in the back alley with the, stopping the bullet and stuff like that. So that is a yes for me. She should be up there for sure.
All right, so Gal Gadot makes top 7. Kirk and I didn't get votes. I actually been a no. I've never really thought Gal Gadot was that great an actress. Yeah. Like I've never really been like that captivated. But even Wonder Woman by herself, which she's good in that movie, but I don't think she's the best part of it. I think there are at least like 2 or 3 people to kind of outdo her in that movie. So I would have been no for Gal Gadot. I wrote her down, but like she was someone who, if we burned through like 20 picks, then I would have put her on. But I'm like, otherwise, nah, they don't think I'm about to put on this list. But that's just me. She's on the list anyways. I'm gonna go to Kirk. What would you say about Gal Gadot?
Yeah, the thing she has going for her and also working against her is the bar was so low. You know, the bar was so low in Batman vs Superman. It was like this dreary, awful movie, and she was like the one shining moment. The bar was so low. It's like, oh, we're finally getting to Wonder Woman. We're finally getting a female DC superhero, and everybody was so excited about that I think that boosted the excitement for her. And she was good. She was fine. I do think, and again, I think the bar was low in that movie because there's a lot of low spots in that movie, and she elevated it. Her and Chris Pine together. But I honestly think that I could probably rattle off half a dozen actresses that I think could have done the exact same thing she did in that movie. I don't think she really did anything, mind blowing to make it her own or really claim that role like some of these other actors have that we've named so far. So yeah, I definitely would have been a no on that. Like you said, Chance, top 10, top 20. Yeah.
You know what? You're right. There are other actors that can do better jobs of Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Silly me. I forgot my own rule. I'm vetoing this pick. Gal Gadot's off the top 7. She doesn't make it.
You piece of shit.
You're making Cody Newberry really pissed right
Chance,
now.
bro.
You couldn't give me
Chance,
this
ask you a
one.
question, Chance.
You hate
Why
women,
do you hate
right?
women?
Chance, is that why you
Seriously,
hate
Chance,
you hate
you're
women?
sexist. I told you what was gonna happen, Chance.
Yeah.
I told you.
Bring it on. You know what? It didn't occur to me until I was going like, oh shit, I can't get out of this.
We're adding
All right,
this
fuck it.
All
Now,
right,
just
so-
for that, when we get to my next nomination, I'm gonna go super troll pick for that one. Drag this out even longer.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
was gonna send the
But Kirk, we're back
Israeli
to you.
special forces over to knock down your door.
We're adding on your
You're right.
Tinder profile, Wonder Woman, not my hero.
You're right.
All right, Kirk, we're going back to you.
Where to my nomination? Okay.
Yeah.
I have it down to 2 here. I have neither of them are super obvious. And I
Send me
really
a
want
private chat, I'll pick.
I want to try this. I want to try this one really bad, but also there's a name that came up in the chat, and I kind of want to troll those guys. So yeah, let's do that. Okay, my next pick is again we are talking portrayal of a superhero. And when I think about a portrayal of a superhero, I look at the source material and how well they do a job bringing that to life. So the actor I'm going to say probably isn't the best actor my favorite actor in this role. His movies aren't my favorite movies, but I think he brings the character to life better than anybody, and that's Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
There we go.
Tobey Maguire is hi Chad, how you doing? Tobey Maguire brings that pathos. Yeah, he was a little too old, and you didn't buy the whole high schooler thing. But when you think about Superman and just being the guy who has to take so much crap that he doesn't deserve and just get dumped on and beat up, and just really and still be that hero and just maintain that optimism. He captured that so well. I don't think the trilogy really holds up anymore, to be honest with you, as a whole movie. But his performance, him actually being Spider-Man, and again, I'll go to one of my favorite moment is probably. Actually, I hate this moment. I think it's such a cheesy, cringy moment. But when Doc Ock tells him to learn poetry, and they show him sit there reading the poetry, and he reads it to her, and you're like, this poor bastard actually thinks it's going to work. And that just shows that optimism he maintains through all the beatings, everything he has to let people say to him and do him. His bosses fire him because he's lazy and he's independable and all this stuff. You still see him hold on to that. And I think he captures the story might be weird. Some of his quirks may be weird, but he captures the spirit of that character, I think, better than anyone has ever done a comic book movie before. So come at me, Tobey Maguire.
All right. So, Tobey Maguire is up for top 7, and Zach left the show. I don't know where he went. Well, we'll see if it comes to Zach's votes if it gets there. But
I wrote my
Dom,
vote.
your pick just got beat.
I had to get a beer. I wrote no.
Oh, okay. Well, we already have a no from Zach. That's good. I'm gonna go to I'm gonna go to Dom, whose pick just got beat on the last turn. So
yeah, that's a big fat no for me. I've come around on the Raimi movies in recent years. I've had a love-hate relationship with them over the years. I liked them when I was a little kid, and I thought that they would be one of those movies that I hated as a little kid. And then I rewatched them, and I'm like, oh shit, the filmmaking for these is actually really good. But there's one thing that constantly stands out, and no, it's not just Kirsten Dunst and her boring ass. I don't blame her. I think they're just given shitty material to work with, and she doesn't really know how to work with, because I've seen Kirsten Dunst in good roles, and she's well utilized. Tobey, on the other hand, can range from shouting really loudly, trying to be taken seriously, to mumbling really slowly and hoping to be taken pity for, is the range of his acting ability that I've seen. He never comes off as anything more than a puppy dog. The only reason why I can see Raimi loving him so much in that part is because it's almost like he makes a mockery of the part, and that he's so brutally naive that like literally his only reaction to the harsh realities of the world is literally to just sit there and cry like a baby. Like, it's something that I think that future Spider-Men nailed better. Obviously, their challenges I don't think have been presented nearly as accurately as Raimi's has. And that comes partly from like the parody nature, B-movie nature that Raimi instills in all of his movies. But still, I think that Tobey is a very uninspired casting choice, and one that I think is like a very overrated and overhyped and overglorified in people's minds. So that's a big fat no for me.
Well, all right. So that's 2 no's off the bat. So it's not looking good for Tobey right now. I'm gonna go to Kevin.
Kirk, even when you were saying it, you said it's not your favorite Spider-Man. You said like 4 negative things about him in your description of why. I will say that is a no for me. Garfield's my guy too. I really do I like Spider-Man. I like all the portrayals of Spider-Man, to be honest. But if I was having to rank them and you had a gun to my head, that would be no on Tobey Maguire. I can't get emo Tobey out of my head. So that's a no. And
what that was.
Emo Tobey is the only real life Tobey.
That was just like a choice. Like, there's a reason why Tobey Maguire just stopped acting.
That sealed the deal. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man does not make top 7. Go for me. Yeah, sorry, Kirk. You're fighting an uphill battle. I would have been a no for me too, because look, those Spider-Man movies they do a lot, and like some of them, I don't think they don't hold up quite as much as some people like to say. I just watch them. I do still enjoy them, but Spider-Man's a role that's been outdone 3 times now. And depending on how many people you count in Spider-Verse, maybe more.
4.
So,
well, 5 actually count Spider-Verse.
And he's the 4th best.
And both of them are
depending on how many you count Spider-Verse.
Actually, he's like the 8th best if you count all the Spider-Man.
Something like that. Yeah, there's a lot of Spider-Man, but I'm
specifically
talking about the Peter Parker versus the
Zach
character.
in there for the kill. That was great. That was funny.
I'm not going to go that far, but
there's a lot.
Would have been no for me. All right, back to me. We've gone through 10 nominations, and we have yet to bring up a Batman.
Yeah, we was about to.
So I think
you're about to steal my
pick.
I'm gonna shatter that glass ceiling right now, and the question is which Batman to go, and I'm going with, I think really the best possible choice for Batman. I'm going with Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton.
There's a surprise.
Now, yeah, see, Michael Keaton, he was, I think, as instrumental as Christopher Reeve was, as far as, he brought Superman to the mainstream. He made Superman be taken seriously. I think Michael Keaton was the one that really got Batman taken seriously, because before that, you had Adam West, who, I love Adam. I love Adam to death. But, you don't really look at that and you don't really think, this is the representation of the comic book character I've been reading all my life. I think Michael Keaton got that. He got the duality perfect. He had that attitude. He had the presence of he had the presence, and he has all the nuances of someone who is trying to really just hide his true self. You can really see it in all those movies. Well, not all 2 of them, because he had the decency to bow out before Schumacher came in. But that's another story altogether. And I really think he still stands as Ben Affleck could have taken this crown had he stayed on and done his solo Batman movie, but he didn't. So I think Keaton still stands as the best cinematic Batman. I'm gonna go to Zach first. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go to Kirk first. Kirk, not Zach. Right. Kirk.
I'm still reeling from that beating I took over Tobey Maguire, but yeah, I love Michael Keaton. He's a Pittsburgh guy. He's a hometown boy. I love Batman '89. I'm still a big fan of that movie, but I don't put his performance as a top 10 or top 7. It just, I don't know. I might be talking myself in. I mean, he's
Kirk,
the
just so you know, in this show, we are not above petty vengeance. Petty vengeance is what makes the show. So you're pissed about Spider-Man?
We are not above being petty on this show.
No, like I said, I'm kind of talking. I mean, Chance, you're absolutely right. He nailed that duality, and I think if I was going to put a Bruce Wayne Batman on a live action Batman Bruce Wayne on this list, it would be him. I think he's done the best job. He did the most with the character. But again, I think a lot of Bruce Wayne is a guy with a strong jaw that you put in a mask and let him go do whatever. So, I would put, if we were doing top 8 or 9, he might be there, but I'm going to say no to Michael Keaton.
All right. So that's 1 no for Keaton. I'm going to go to Zach. Zach, help me.
So Michael Keaton brings the most kind of millionaire charm to a Bruce Wayne portrayal, but everything outside of that, of what makes Batman and Bruce Wayne the general physicality that he doesn't have whatsoever, and the kind of grief-driven vengeance that is what Batman thrives on. He does not push forward, or those movies in general do not push forward at all, that Christian Bale was able to do later. That is just not bringing the same necessity to the character that I think is important. The same, like Vern, what we love about him is we can feel our pain through Bruce Wayne, and he just doesn't have any pain, so we don't even understand why he's doing that in this movie, why he's fighting crime. He's just another rich guy that's having his jollies, jerking off through fighting crime. And so basically what that portrayal of Batman is. So my answer would be, he fits well that vision of Batman, but he's not the Batman. Okay, no, not my Batman.
Okay, so take away from that. The new tagline for Batman needs to be jerk it off and fighting crime. According to Zach Ford. Dom, Michael Keaton is Batman. Are you going to put it to bed? Or are you going to keep it alive?
Yeah, this one's going to bed. That's a no for me. Look, I've said it before. I've said it again. Michael Keaton, I always regard is the best Batman that could have been. My thing that I always go back to with the Burton movies is that he's a great, very inspired casting choice that was never utilized to his full potential, because every single one of those friggin' Burton movies, the villain has always outshined the hero. Not to the fact of, say, that the Nolan movies did it much better, because the Nolan movies, I understand with the Dark Knight, Ledger has more actual screen time than Bale does, but the one thing that the Nolan movies have that the Burton movies didn't is that say what you will about Bale and everybody's problems they have with the physicality and the voice and everything, but one thing that Bale's Batman actually had was a goddamn character arc. What do I know about fucking Burton's character, Michael Keaton? His parents got shot. Great. And he's a billionaire and he gets rich women. Great.
He has some crazy fucking eyes. Some crazy.
Yeah, that, exactly. He's got the bat eyebrows. Cool. What do I know about him as a character? Literally nothing. Like, he has no defined character. Like, Bale at least plays him as a character. Like, Burton's Batman are all glitz, glam, and fashion, and they are some movies that ride by on this order, which sucks because I think that really ruins Burton's style and Flash to the Edge, because Burton does add a lot of surprise and style to those movies. But no, it's to be honest, it's a waste of Michael Keaton is what it is, because Michael Keaton deserved more material than he got with those movies.
He should have been the Joker.
For me. He really should have. Michael Keaton would have been terrific Joker. You see him, he was more nuts than Nicholson. He was out crazying Nicholson in that scene.
saying Batman the way Michael Keaton is spoken like someone who's clearly never seen Need for Speed. So Michael Keaton as Batman does not make top 7. Kevin, I know you would have been on my side.
Yeah, oh no, that was my very next pick. And also, who doesn't want to see I think on April Fool's they did a fake article where it was Keaton was coming back for Batman Beyond. That would be amazing. Give that. That
would honestly be amazing. Wait a couple years, he'll be old enough to play old Bruce Wayne. I would pay. That would be amazing. That I would
tie it into that. You could tie it into that universe. Yeah, he would have get.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
He was cast.
Who do you get to? And then you get Miles Teller to play Terry McGinnis, right?
And they finally go full comedy parody on the Justice League, and they can pull him in a wheelchair as Batman.
And they're like watching Batman versus Superman and laughing at it. They're like, who made this movie?
It's actually Mystery Science Theater-esque.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Phil Lord and Chris Miller
needs to be in that movie. That's
and have Phil Lord and Chris Miller direct it. We're literally like we're pitching this movie. Come on. All
right.
Sold.
Kevin, your next nomination.
All right. Well, I'm reeling here because that was going to be my next one, but all right. I'm going to do a pick here. Let's see, another MCU. This might be a tough sell. But I'm gonna say why I'm gonna put him on, and that's Chris Hemsworth as Thor, and here's why. I had no interest in Thor when those movies were coming out. I had what's Kirk? What I see Kirk, he's disappointed, or maybe I took
No,
his-
no, this is gonna be a hard pick for me right off the bat. No, you're.
You know, I get it. This is
Yeah.
a hard sell. Let me tell you why, though. I don't think any of us, and I mean, I was a comic book fan through and through growing up. But when they were like Thor, I was like, dude, with the long locks and like it's gonna like they turn. And maybe I'm giving more credit to like Kenneth Branagh and like the way they did the first Thor, and they had it all like an epic like Star Wars meets Lord of the Rings kind of style. But like I had no interest in Thor, and I think Chris Hemsworth did a great job of bringing Thor to life. And then the fact, because that was the first one that was going to introduce like Iron Man is my second favorite MCU movie of all time. Like Winter Soldier is my first. I like the shit that's more grounded in reality. But like when you're able to somehow include magic realms and how they're gods, but they're not gods, they're actually aliens, and they were mixing that. And it sounds like I'm praising the movie more than Hemsworth, but Hemsworth through the Thor movies, it would have fallen flat. There was rumors back in the day that they were going to cast Triple H as Thor. Imagine that. Imagine how bad that would have been. So I got to give it to my boy Chris Hemsworth. I'm hoping that this might squeeze in here, but you take it for all of the movies. Take it for what he did. Take it for in that era when we were like so used to not going to have some magic, with the hammer. He made the hammer cool. Like I know that's again a filmmaker's thing, but I'm gonna say Chris Hemsworth Thor. Let's sneak him in the top 7, huh?
All right. Also, new tagline for Thor: he made the hammer cool. I'm gonna go to me first. This was one I had on my list. I'm gonna give this a yes because, like Kevin, not that I had no interest in Thor. I'm just like, okay, that's gonna be a hard character to actually like write for and make interesting. And you need a hell of an actor to play him. And no one knew who Hemsworth was before he was cast as Thor. But what second he stepped on screen, and like it's in that first movie, you can tell like, this guy has something. He grows and changes and evolves in every movie. And like Hemsworth always delivers. He's one of the guys. He always delivers in that performance. And it also helps that you have a guy who, let's face it, if he came out tomorrow and said he was a real Norse god, we would all believe him. So yeah, really dig Hemsworth as Thor, and yes, I will give him the yes for top 7.
And real quick, just a quick aside, that Infinity War scene where he somehow made that scene where he's talking to Rocket, and he's crying, but he also at the same part in that scene has something funny, but then he's crying and how he has like nothing, like he's like literally saying how everyone in his family died. I just think that like he was able to do like the gravitas of like being a heavy character, not just the one note trick, one trick pony. I know I overspoke.
Of course. All right, so it's fine. It happens on this show, especially when you have Dom and Zach on the same one. Dom, Chris Hemsworth is Thor. Does he make top 7?
That's going to get a yay from me, most because I kind of want to move on. But Hemsworth is a really good acting choice, and he's grown on me a lot over the years.
All right, so that seals it. Hemsworth as Thor makes top 7. Zach, Kirk, you not get votes. Kirk, what would you have said?
I'm glad I didn't have to really decide on this because I mean he's another definition of a bubble pick. I probably would have been leaning slightly yes, just because, like Dom said, Hemsworth has really been great. I think 20 years from now, we're going to look back and see he had a really amazing career. He's really evolving as an actor, and yeah, he's made that character his own. As much as if we're going to put down the list, if we're going to put Chris Evans on this list, you got to put Thor in there too because he's taken that character and ran with it just every bit as much as they did. So yeah, I would have been yes.
All right, and Zach, what would you have said about Hemsworth as Thor?
I'm actually a definite yes. He's one that would have been iffy for me for the past, 8 years before Ragnarok, just because he's something I always saw the promise in and, loved what he's giving, just didn't have the, creative, the directors to really guide them in the right direction or to use him to the best effect. And once Taika came around, I think the Russos also have used him wisely in Infinity War, have brought out what Hemsworth can bring with Thor. And Hemsworth is really, this is a crazy take, but top 10 comedic actor that we really could have right now. And so once making Thor a full-on comedic performance as he can be, it was the perfect, mindset to have that in. So I'm a for sure yes. Today.
All right, Zach, well, we're back to you.
If I'm to make a comedy next year, not of all time.
All right, Zach, we're back to you. We're going to see if you can finally get one on the list. What do you got?
Oh, so a little less crazy. Still debatably a superhero. But I would say, once again, an X-Men, giant fan. And one of the linchpins of the X-Men franchise. Another one that you could put alongside Hugh Jackman and Robert Downey Jr. that's became, synonymous with this character. Someone that is very identifiable is Patrick Stewart as Professor X. Really, how that together can also be defined as a coach. Guys, coaches are important. It's what brings people together. And he does have, he's really one of the most powerful X-Men there is. So he's undoubtedly a superhero. But the kind of wisdom and just bravura he brings to that performance helps make him and Ian McKellen together can help bring any of the silliness that is essential part of superhero movies. That's inherently what it is, can bring it to be taken seriously because of how seriously they take it and how seriously he, inhabits that character and is able to deliver it with, great truth. So Patrick Stewart is my nomination.
All right, so Patrick Stewart and Professor X is up for top 7. I'm going to go to Kirk because he didn't get a vote last time. Kirk, what do you say about Patrick Stewart?
Patrick Stewart, I think it's a good pull, but I'm going to go no. And my reason is I think originally they cast him because they need, it's like, okay, old bald guy. Who's an old bald guy? It's who's recognizable, and that's how he got it. And I mean, I'm not saying he didn't take it and run with that and bring his Patrick Stewart charm to it. But I think one of the things that's hurting him is the character is kind of flat. There's really not much, that character has going on. I mean, for the first X-Men movie, he was unconscious most of the time. The second one, he was captured and having hallucinations. So there's not. Yeah, I just can't. I love Patrick Stewart, but I don't love this character, and I don't. So when I look at the list of who we put on so far, I can't put him in that upper echelon. So
you're just
no.
way too cocky with your full head of hair there.
Hey Zach, just because he was the first person to play Professor X on screen doesn't make him special.
All right, we're throwing the back of his face again. Kevin, your vote. Patrick Stewart, Professor X.
That's a yes for me, dude. That scene in Logan, I think people are not. I mean, that scene in Logan when they're all having dinner and with that family was just so good. He's so good in that. And I know it's, what? And to your point, yeah, maybe they did hire him because he was popular on Star Trek. And, we need a bald guy. Oh, let's go. This is the easy bald guy we can cast. But he turned it into his own. That is an absolute yes for me. Like he is. Yeah, he's a player coach, by the way. He's not just a coach; he's a player coach. Yeah, he's in there.
He is the Nate Scarborough of the X-Men. Going to me, and I'm gonna close this out. This is a yes for me. He's someone I had on my list, and I think when you say we just want to play Professor X, Patrick Stewart is the first person going to come to your mind because he's a perfect casting choice. And I think he gives a great portrayal of wisdom and strength in those couple X-Men movies, along with some vulnerability in the mid ones, and that all just comes to a head in Logan, in which he is absolutely fantastic. And yes, I will definitely end Zach's streak, and I'll put Patrick Stewart on the list, which means in the next.
No.
Well, someone might because Dom technically still doesn't have one on the list yet. But Dom, what would you say about Professor X?
Oh, yeah, I would have said yes about that. That's one of the best superhero casting choices ever, especially for another one for two very mediocre and overhyped movies. With those first two X-Men movies, he is definitely a shining spot in them besides Hugh Jackman. Really wish he got to be in some better movies, but he still had his chance to shine, and now he will forever be associated with that character, even though I think James McAvoy had more to work with. But yeah, it's a good choice. Should be on the list.
All right, Dom, there is one spot left on this list. Do you have the one pick to fill it?
Yeah, I think so. It sucks because it's another white male. Wanted at least. I tried to get a woman on there. I was going to do another voiceover. My person of color choice was going to be a voiceover, but Zach kind of already ruined that by going Holly Hunter, so I couldn't put in Shameik Moore. I was going to put in Rocket. I was going to try and make a strong argument for Kelsey Grammer as the Beast. Carl Urban as Dredd was on there. I'm just running off honorable mentions because I have a feel.
Are you just listing?
Yeah, just running off honorable mentions. Yeah, no, I got a few weirdo choices, but no, my choice. It's Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. I mean, come on, it's gonna be on there no matter what. It's fucking do I even need to say anything else? We all know. We've all had this argument. We've all had this discussion a million times over ever since the movie came out in 2016. He's the perfect man for the part. I would argue, honestly, top 3 most accurate superhero cast in terms of people who were born to play this part. Besides Jackman is Wolverine and Downey is Iron Man. This guy born to play this part, literally Canadian, literally fucking like I don't even need to say anything else. Like we're all gonna vote him in. We all know it. Like you guys are literally just assholes if you just say no. Like that's literally all I had to say. It's such an easy choice.
Wow. You know, Dom, I don't know if you're doing it on purpose. I don't know if you see something coming. I'm not sure what you're playing at. But okay, Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool is up for top 7, and for the hell of it, I'm gonna go to Zach first. Zach, Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool.
Your fucking mind is warped by the fucking nonsense, throwing out word after word after word after word, joke, 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 fuck, 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 ass, 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 bullet, bullet, bullet. It's just fucking nonstop. You're like, this is fucking crazy. I haven't seen anything like this before where a superhero can say the word fuck 30 times in 1 second. As a teacher of language arts in 7th grade, I sometimes forget that I'm supposed to be teaching how to write, and I try to teach the kids what proper humor should be. And some of the class clowns, I try to tell them timing is very important. Maybe saying the word fuck in the middle of class is not fucking appropriate, and so it's not funny because you said the word fuck, because you have to time it at the right time. And now saying a joke every fucking second, nonstop, queef, 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 queef. Not funny. There's this fuck this shit.
Zach, are you saying this just because you know it's gonna get it and you're just getting all
No,
the
he's not.
conservative
That's the thing, he's
opinions
not.
out of the way?
I think this is my 8th Deadpool / Ryan Reynolds rant.
Okay. So you're just sick of this shit by now.
On their show. It's just Ryan Reynolds can be a good actor when he is put with a director that can hone his shit down, that puts him on a leash, clamps down maybe his left foot so that holds down tight and that like half the fucks are restrained. But if they don't put any leash on him and he does whatever the fuck he wants, it is just like a nonstop parade of annoyance that I can't stand. They're trying, like, we had something unique to do with this character, but they don't know how to balance that at all, where it's just a barrage. And I think it's really like confuses me how people love it so much. Like most things I can like not like, but understand where people are coming from and how they enjoy me. And I'm like, it's not for me. This is fucking not for anybody, but everyone else is just fucking in a dreamscape. Ryan Reynolds has, spiked everyone's tea. Everyone's drinking tea, I assume. They pour up their chai at night, and Ryan Reynolds is coming around spiking it. And they are fucking high when they're watching this movie because I think Deadpool is really like a horribly paced and thought out idea. Yeah, fuck this.
Okay. Yeah.
There's better comedy out there.
Once when Ryan Reynolds got brought up, I kind of saw that was coming, so I gave Zach his time. So Zach, just in short, that's the yes for me, right? No.
What?
Okay. He's not even gonna answer me. He's out of words.
We're gonna pause it. I'm gonna rewatch it 3 times in a row, and then maybe I'll change my decision.
All right, so that's one no. That's one no from Zach. We're gonna go to Kevin. Kevin.
You know what? Someone earlier said you can absolutely vote on just to spite someone or whatever. I'm gonna vote to reward someone. That was epic. He would have been a yes, but you know what? You swayed me. I'm gonna say no for all the reasons you said. I'm a no.
Damn.
Fuck Ryan Reynolds. I gotta go to the rest.
This is what happens when I try to go obvious. Just none of my choices. I'm forever doomed.
Was it the queef?
Kevin walked.
Told you.
Kevin walked off the show. I'm gonna go to. I see Kirk about to pull his hair out. I'm gonna go to him next.
First time I watched Deadpool, I was really, just enamored by the newness of it, and never seen anything like that before, and I loved it. Second time I watched it, and then it all kind of worn off. It was just like a series of like dated 90s references, like Rosie O'Donnell and Limp Bizkit jokes, and it kind of wore on me from there. And I didn't hate it. Ryan Reynolds is good in the part. He fits it perfectly. But yeah, I think to tag on to Zach's rant a little bit, it is kind of one note, and it's a fun one note, but it's one note. So I'm a no on that as well.
Damn.
All right, so yeah, that's it. Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool does not make top 7. I'm on your side, Dom. It would have been a yes, but it's not up to me. So, Kirk, we're going to you to finish out this cycle. We have again one spot left on the list. Do you have the movie to fill it?
Chance, I think
what happened? What did I miss? Sorry.
It did not make it. It did not make it.
Oh, okay.
Chance, you're probably going to get your opportunity to put that 7th guy on the list because I have a feeling I'm going to get steamrolled here again. But I'm going with my heart. This is a performance. It's a comic book movie. We may debate whether this guy's technically a superhero, but he's a superhero to me. And it's an amazing performance. Talking about voice acting, a lot of voice acting went into this, although there was some body performance as well. And I'm going to put in Hugo Weaving from V for Vendetta. I think Hugo Weaving is just a stellar, world-class actor, and he's going to bring that to any role he plays. But as V, just the depth and the gravitas of that character that he brought to it with just his voice and some, I don't know, I really honestly don't know how much of that he was actually in the suit or not, but mainly just with his voice, what he portrayed, his suffering, his pain, and also the lightheartedness, the boyishness of that character, and just the range and the quoting the Shakespeare and the scene at the Old Bailey where he's conducting the explosion, just a brilliant performance all the way through. Like I said, you may not consider him a superhero, but he definitely has that comic book superhero flair to it. So I mean, if we want to get to semantics, there we can. But he just blew me away. It's one of my, not just one of my favorite comic book movies, it's one of my favorite movies of all time, based heavily on his performance. So yeah, that's it. You guys can tear me a new one now, but I'm going with Hugo Weaving.
Well, let's find out, Kirk, because Hugo Weaving is up as V and V for Vendetta is up for top 7. Gonna go to Dom with the last nomination. Dom, V. Hugo Weaving is V. Does he make top 7?
Oh my god, I want to get this shit over with. I'm tired. Yeah, I'll put V in there. That is legitimately though, that is a great performance. I think that's a very underrated one that people definitely need to consider more often, especially considering that's one that I give a lot of advantage, like Carl Urban, in that I don't think he has his mask off at all throughout that movie, and then when he does, it's only cloaked in shadows. In fact, that's the reason why they fired James Purfoy originally from that set. So yeah, I'd give that a yay.
All right, so that's one yes for Hugo Weaving. I'm gonna go to Zach next. Zach, Hugo Weaving.
I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Thank you. Just use the sign.
Thank you, Zach. Zach, Hugo Weaving.
So I have not seen V for Vendetta since I was 16 in 2005.
Ooh.
I loved it then, but I was also high on testosterone and just jizz, which as a 16-year-old can, alter your idea of how great things are as soon as someone gets hurt. So it's hard for me to give a rational decision about this. So I'll just say no.
All right, so that's one no from Zach. That's 2 no's. Kevin, you got to put it to bed and keep it alive.
Yeah, I'm going to put it to bed, only because he wasn't the V the entire time. There's 4 weeks of shooting where he wasn't behind the mask, and I know he did the voice later, but that guy, James Purfoy from Rome, I love Rome, by the way, so that series
Rome's
on
great.
HBO. He was V for 4 weeks, and then they replaced it. And so I'm going to say no just because some of what you're seeing, it's not even him. Even though the voice is good voice, and I do love the movie. So, but yeah, that's a no. All
right. So that's it. Hugo Weaving as V does not make top 7. I would have been no also. I do like Hugo Weaving as V quite a bit, but there's actually a better performance in an Alan Moore-based comic movie that I actually put on this list instead.
I'm going to bring it up right now. Your damn mouth.
It isn't. It's not Billy Crudup, but it's not Billy Crudup, but it is someone from that same movie. Because to the surprise of a few people, probably My next nomination is going to be Jackie Earle Haley as Rorschach in Watchmen. I mean, I didn't get Batman on this list, so I'm going to try to get another Batman-type character. But also, I just really think Jackie Earle Haley is phenomenal. I'm not even the biggest fan of the Watchmen movie, but I do got to admit when I see a really, really solid performance, I think Jackie Earle Haley really brings that persona, that that hardened persona that do with like something proves he's got a chip on his shoulder, and he just completely just commands that movie from start to finish. I think he is easily the shining star of Watchmen, and I think he's a good candidate to close our top 7 if we want to do something a little different. I'm going to go to Kirk first. Kirk, Jackie Earle Haley as Rorschach.
I'm going to say no, just because I think there's a better character in this movie who deserves to be on the list over him. And if it, I
Is it Billy Crudup? Is it Billy
No.
Crudup?
Billy Crudup is a blank human. There is there's a there's one performance in there that I really think is better, and I can't give it to Rorschach over that. So the name may come up, but I'm going on this one.
Also, bad choice.
I was about to say, Jack, your two favorite actors ever, Patrick Wilson and Billy Crudup, are both in that movie.
Oh, just hold on. It's not my turn yet.
Jackie Earle Haley.
Oh, it is my turn. Okay.
Yes.
Zack Snyder did a remarkable thing. He read through all my MySpace blog posts and found everyone I fucking hate and threw them into one fucking movie, and that had great potential and a great source of material, and just threw all these shit faces in the same movie because they're all fucking horrible. Jackie Earle Haley. Jackie Earle Haley. I am the fucking Rorschach. See, I just did as good a performance as Jackie Earle Haley as Rorschach. Oh, deep voice. Scary, intimidating. He's a shit actor. He got way too much credit at that time for Little Children, that when he was really just doing this big, intense, creepy thing that has no subtlety to him whatsoever, as no one in that movie does. It's mostly a vocal performance, and so he had room to rely on doing something creative in front of his voice, but instead he just thought he would talk in a rasp like he was in a roar in the 40s. Look how cool that is. Yeah, so no. Jackie Earle Haley, goodbye.
Okay. All right. Well. All right.
He's third on the list of worst actors in the movie, though.
Jesus. All right. No. So that's 2 no's for Jackie Earle Haley off the bat. Dom, are you gonna give it the yes to move us along?
Chance, you're lucky that I don't know, that I'm just me. Fucking A. Yeah, Jackie Earle Haley. That's one of the best superhero casting decisions of all time. I keep saying, first off, fuck off, Zach. I don't care. I agree. I agree. Zack Snyder is terrible at mostly everything, but every single fucking one of his movies, he finds the one sweet spot. And Watchmen surprisingly has a lot of it, but that's mostly because he's copying the graphic novel beat for beat, and the graphic novel is one of the best things ever made. And he somehow makes it cohesive. Somehow. All the props in the world to him. But yeah, Jackie Earle Haley is legitimately intimidating. His voice, while a little bit of a ripoff of the Bale Batman voice, I still think he adds enough of his own distinct flair to that character, and that character is already a strong enough character as it is because it's based on such strong material, and because Zack Snyder, I literally can't even say anything differently, because he is literally ripping it right from the material. He's putting the material, he's presenting it on the screen, and I think Haley absolutely nails it. So that's a yay for me. Yes.
Kevin, it's come down to you. You are the deciding vote.
Oh man,
Jackie Earle Haley, get on top 7.
First of all, for Zach's thing, I was literally eating popcorn the comments. I hate to do this because you guys stayed up later for me because I'm on the West Coast. But I think Batman needs to be on this list. So I think, do I have the next nomination? Because if I do, I feel like I have the power.
You do the next nomination.
Kind of like a version of Batman.
What's that?
Rorschach's kind of basically like a different version of Batman.
I know. Look, he's on. I could literally show you him. He is on my list, and he's not very low. He's high on my list too.
Kevin, you do have the next nomination. You have the next nomination.
Yeah, come on, Kevin.
Yes.
We got to get Batman on there, guys. This is no disrespect. We got to get Batman.
Why? Why does it have to be Batman?
I don't know if we did. I don't know.
You have to get
All right,
Batman.
so that's
No
But
or
I'm
not.
gonna do a Batman. I don't think you guys are gonna. I don't know. I'm gonna say no because I'm gonna say no so he's gone so I can do my next nomination
Okay.
right now.
all right. So that's it. Jack, your hair has been shut down. Kevin, we're going straight to you. Who's
All
your
right,
Batman?
This is ballsy, but we played him on the Arkham Knight games. He was our voice for years, and I know this is accumulation. It's Kevin Conroy, Batman, voice of Batman, Batman Mask of the Phantasm, but I'm giving it as a Lifetime Achievement Award because he is the voice of Batman through all those animated series and the Arkham games and in the movie. Kevin Conroy, Batman. That's it. I'm not saying anything else.
And he was in a movie, a theatrical release movie too, because Mask of the Phantasm.
Yes,
that
and
does
he was
technically
in
count.
Mask of
That's
the
it. He was in a
Phantasm.
movie. I'm just saying.
Can we all just unanimously agree right now? Yes, because we're all gonna I know we're all gonna say it because Kevin Conroy, at least for me, is the MVP, and I'm kind of exhausted.
Okay, wait. Well, Dom, is Conroy a yes for you?
Conroy's a big yes for me. Big
I'm gonna eat
fucking
my
yes.
popcorn while Zach answers. Hold on.
Yeah, right.
Comments.
Actually, I'll let Zach. I'll let Zach go on his rant first.
Yeah, Kevin Conroy was, the voice of my childhood. Best Batman. That's why fucking Polly Pocket is my favorite heroine of all time because she was the only female I knew before I was 10 years old.
Jesus Christ.
Kevin Conroy does fine. He delivers, a voice in a, style house animation Batman series that he did what he delivered. Don't add too much is probably the direction he gave. Just deliver straight lines, which is how DC animation typically works. This is not doing anything too creative or revolutionary with the character. So there's two jets on him being a top Batman, and so I say no.
Okay. Well, I'm going to close this out because Conroy is boss of Batman, greatest Batman of all time. And yes, he makes top 7. We're closing this out. I would have nominated him if I wasn't scared that he would have made it. So that's it. We have our top 7.
Thank God. Thank Jesus.
Let the record show Dom decided to be here. He knew how late we were going.
That is true. That is true, but that doesn't mean that I didn't have. That didn't mean I didn't have to complain the entire time.
Dom talks just as much as I do, and both of us took up 40 minutes.
I talk more than you do, Zach.
Yeah, so you're to blame. I shout more.
I would have been definitely yes on Kevin Conroy, and Zach, I'm going to shoot you down there because if you listen to Adrian, what's her name? I can't remember the name, but she's the voice director on the animated series. You listen to interviews with her, she talks about how much Conroy added to that role and how much he created that role in and of himself. So there's a lot of he gets a lot of credit for what he did in that with that role and the animated series, obviously. But yeah, Mask of Phantasm, and also, and someone pointed this out in the chat, The Killing Joke did receive a limited theatrical release, and he was the Batman in that as well. So.
True.
Yeah, he's so good in that movie. All right, so that's it. We have our top 7. Now we're gonna dedicate some time for honorable mentions. Going to me first. I had some other MCU ones, but I kind of wanted to limit those. I was gonna bring them up, but Chris Pratt as Star-Lord is very high for me. So is Bradley Cooper as Rocket Raccoon. James McAvoy, Professor X, I could have made a case for. I really love Ron Perlman as Hellboy. Tom Holland, my favorite Spider-Man of all time. Wesley Snipes as Blade. Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. Someone who was on the spectrum, I'm not sure if he would have counted him, Mickey Rourke as Marv in Sin City. He's basically a superhero in real life.
That was going to be a nomination. Mickey
Good
Rourke
one.
as Marv.
Yeah.
And two that I really like a lot, but I don't think would have stood a chance, are Paul Rudd as Ant-Man and Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. Really love both those guys in their roles. And my last one's a recent one, so I don't think would have made it, but I really did dig Zachary Levi Shazam. I thought he really delivered in the role. Zach, any honorable mentions for you?
Who'd you say? Me?
Zach. You, Zach.
Okay. So, yeah, Christian Bale would be my Batman choice. Michael Fassbender, you said, as well as Ron Perlman. Other voice actors, Bradley Cooper, and a lot of people, or at least Dom was saying Shamik Moore, but I think Jake Johnson in The Little Time He Gives just did a phenomenal job as this,
tired
Peter Parker, and John Mulaney, of course, as Spider-Ham. Yeah, Spider-Ham. And I think that's all I got. Half my list ended up smeared because when I ran, I was like, Ryan Reynolds,
Kirk, any
queef.
Yeah, I think pretty much anybody in the Guardians cast we could have made a strong argument for.
seriously.
And
I was going to
either
nominate Bradley Cooper as Rocket Raccoon.
anyone on that cast would have been great. Either Fassbender or McKellen as Magneto, anti-hero, I know, but I know, and of course we all forgot Shaq as Steel, which I know we're going to.
Oh, of course.
That's somebody we definitely should add on this list.
Definitely.
All right, and Kevin, any more honorable mentions from you?
Yeah, we got let's see, Helen Slater as Supergirl because I had a crush on her when I was a kid. Let me tell you. Got
A+
Billy
reasoning.
Zane as Phantom. Come on, guys, huh? No. I would say Christian Bale as Batman. Obviously, I like Ben Affleck's Batman too, as the Bruce Wayne aspect of it. And then James McAvoy. I don't know if anyone mentioned him in.
I did. I brought up McAvoy.
Yeah, he's got to be on there. I love him. So, and then if we're doing anti-heroes, I thought Tom Hardy and also Michelle Pfeiffer, both of them as Venom and as Catwoman. I thought Pfeiffer did great as Catwoman because she was so pathetic in the scenes as just the character Selena Kyle, and then just changed instantaneous and became Catwoman. And then so that's it. I know it's late. Let's move on.
I'm a black man. And he's in the rock, man. And Dom, anybody else you want to bring up?
I was about to say, out of the 50, you mean besides the 15 honorable mentions that I already named? No, pretty much everybody already nailed them. Like I said, Carl Urban as Dredd is a big one for me. I really, really think that's an underrated movie. Yeah, pretty much everybody else nailed everything. All the Guardians. For the X-Men, no, not really. No, Evan Peters as Quicksilver is pretty cool for the X-Men. Yeah, McAvoy. I love Kelsey Grammer as Beast. That choice is really underrated. I like going for the dark horses that nobody likes talking about. Bale is my Batman forever.
That sounds movie.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah,
that was.
All right, cool. We're almost done now. Don't worry. And one more I completely forgot to read off. Brandon Lee in the Crow. I really love him as Eric Draven.
Yeah.
And the superhero in my heart, Winnie the Pooh, forever.
Oh yeah, of course. Jim Cummings, Winnie the Pooh, and anything.
Hey.
Scott Adsit as Baymax.
So we have our top 7. We have our top 7. It is Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, Chris Evans, Captain America, Christopher Reeve as Superman, Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Patrick Stewart as Professor X, and Kevin Conroy as Batman. Now this is the elimination period. It works the opposite of round 1. Basically, we're gonna nominate something to get off the list, and 3/5 majority gets it off and doesn't go on top 5.
One more time.
Yeah, I needed to.
Yeah, of course. Hugh Jackman, Chris Evans, Christopher Reeve, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, Patrick Stewart, and Kevin Conroy. All right, but according to our new rules, because Dom got nothing on the top 7, he can strike something, anything he wants without resistance.
Oh, I can do that?
So, Dom, what do you want to take off the 7? Yes, you can do that.
Okay, cool. Out of these 7, I'd have to take off my number 7 pick, which, unfortunately, I don't know if this is going to piss him off. I don't care. Patrick Stewart is Professor X off the list. I'd put the other 6 all above him.
All right. So, Patrick Stewart as Professor X is off. He is not going to the top 5. So, Zach, that was your pick, so I'll let you get the next cut. Anything you want to take off the top 7?
So it's not Chris Evans, by the way. Mine is going to be Kevin Conroy. It's not the Batman of choice, and not even the Batman of preference of people in this thing because they tried to get Michael Keaton on beforehand. But I said enough. I think it's just kind of a blank, portrayal of. He did what they needed, but it didn't add anything to what we need the Batman character to be. So Kevin Conroy is my choice.
All right, so Conroy is nominated for the chopping block. Kevin, that was your nomination. There it is.
Movies.
I have to nominate one for the chopping block right now. Is that
No. You have to say
yes
whether
or
or
no.
not Kevin Conroy stays.
Oh, if we're trying to get a top 5, I know he was my own nomination, but I want to make sure we walk away with this top 5 where people are like, oh, these people know what they're talking about. So, yeah, I mean,
that never happens.
Right.
I'm looking at the others, because Professor X being off the table, that was another. Yeah, I mean, am I supposed to say no, keep him or stay or whatever? I have to say keep him for me because it was my nomination, but
If
I
you
don't
want,
think
hey, you can go back. You can go back. It's on
You can
you.
change-
It's your pick.
I think I set the precedent to the past episode. We change your vote in the middle of the round.
Okay. Yeah, if we're gonna change, I'm gonna take him off the table right now because I want to see how our top 5 starts to shake. But yeah.
All right. So that's 2 votes for Conroy to be knocked off. I'm gonna go to Kirk. See what Kirk says. Conroy, does he stay? Does he go on top 5 or is he eliminated?
Do I vote with my head or vote with my heart?
That's what I was going to say. You're right.
Yeah, Kevin Conroy he's my Batman. I grew up with animated series, and he to me that's the best out of any live action. That's the best Batman. If you give me a choice to watch anybody, he'd be the guy. And Chance, just for clarification, once we eliminate down to 5, we stop eliminating. We're done, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we're done.
Okay. As much as I love him, just based on the fact that there's such a small sample size and he's really not known for the movies, I hate to do this so much, but I'm gonna vote no. I'm gonna vote take him off.
All right, Conroy as Batman is off the list, which means we now go to I probably would have knocked him off also because the movie is just like a small sample size of a great illustrious career Conroy had voicing Batman, which is why I think I put him so high in such a high regard. Like I said, still my number 1 Batman of all time in any medium. Dom, I'm assuming you would have knocked him off also just because you want to get this over with.
No, but even besides that, like I know I'm being a grumpy fuck right now, but no, I would have voted Conroy off there, not compared to those other 5.
All right, so we have our top 5. Our top 5 as it stands: Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, Chris Evans as Captain America, Christopher Reeve as Superman, Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, and Chris Hemsworth as Thor. Solid top 5. Solid top 5 right there, which means we now come to the most important part of the show, ranking these. We are going to rank these top 5 picks. We're going to go on our whiteboards, paper, whatever, write down what we think should go in a particular spot on the list. We're going to go 5, 4, 3, and then we'll vote on the number 1 person on the list. So, gentlemen, if you all write down what should go in the number 5 spot on the list.
When we write it down and show it, I'm sorry, I'm new to this.
Yeah, you write it down, and I'll show it, and I'll show it when I tell you.
Okay.
When I tell you to.
Oh, this is tough.
I'm giving Zach time to do his little doodles. All right. I believe the people who are not drawing are ready, so I'm just gonna start calling people. I'm gonna go first. I have Chris Evans at number 5. I'm gonna go to Kirk.
I have the other Chris Hemsworth at number 5.
Ooh, gonna go to Kevin.
I had Cap at number 5. Where is it? I'm trying to figure it out with my phone here.
Chris Evans. Chris Evans. All right, awesome. Dom.
Yep, I voted with Kirk. I had Chris Hemsworth.
Ooh, so Zach, do you have either one of these 2 actors? I'm pretty sure you do.
Blank-faced America.
Chris Evans is the number 5 actor on the list. All right, so now we go to the number 4 person on the list. I'm just now realizing we have 3 different Chris's on this list.
This reminds me of the days being on Full Metal Geek right now.
Right? What would he come back? I'm going to go to Dom first this time. I'm assuming he hasn't changed.
Hemsworth.
Yep. I'm assuming Kirk also has not changed.
Yeah. And let me just say, Dom, your printing is beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, Kevin, what do you got at number 4?
Man, yeah, Hemsworth, Thor. My handwriting is horrible, by the way.
Yeah, so is mine. I also have Hemsworth. And Zach, did you have
I have Superman turning the Earth in circles.
Hemsworth, or do you have anything else? All right. So now we go to the number 3 movie on the list, or number 3 person on the list, I should say, because Hemsworth is locked in at 4.
Okay, yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go to Zach first this time.
I'm sorry, you broke up who?
Zach.
Okay.
Zach.
Superman. Spade the Earth Round. Also known as Christopher Reeve.
All right, so that's Christopher Reeve, Superman. I also have Christopher Reeve. I'm gonna go to Kirk.
Hugh Jackman.
Ooh, hot take. Going to Kevin.
Henry Cavill, Christopher Reeve.
Okay. Well, no, Christopher Reeve didn't murder as many people, so that's it. Christopher Reeve is locked in at the top at the number 3. Dom, would you agree with the majority? Say Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, I feel like with each choice, we're looking at like a soggy bowl of the whitest cereal possible, and with each choice, it's just getting whiter and whiter and whiter. Chris Reeve.
We are not one to comment on the whiteness of certain actors, but we have reached number one.
It's a problem with the industry, not with us. We're just only working with the best choices we have available to us.
All right, so we gotta go. Is it gonna be Hugh Jackman or is it gonna be Robert Downey Jr.?
Oh, I just ruined my whole picture because I forgot how this game works. I had a funnier picture. Oh, damn it.
Hit Girl should be up there. Hit Girl.
Oh, yeah. Hit Girl. Where's Tank Girl? Where's Lori Petty on this list? I guess Zach forgot the rules, so we had to redraw his picture. I'm gonna go to the one who the chat pointed out hates the whites. I'm gonna go to Dom.
For my number 1 choice, because you said number 1, we write down.
Yes.
I'm going Robert Downey Jr. for my number 1.
Oh, interesting. All right, going to Kevin.
My number 1, he should have been nominated for an Oscar. That would be Logan, my man, Hugh Jackman.
All right, so that's 1 for RDJ, 1 for Hugh Jackman. Going to Kirk.
Since I can't vote for Christopher Reeve, RDJ.
All right, so that's 2 for RDJ, 1 for Jackman. Going to Zach.
I had a great picture of Iron Man shooting down poor Middle Eastern folk. But instead, I am a cave. But instead, I went with one of my hair twins alongside with Jack Nicholson. Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Is that Gizmo from the Gremlins?
it looks like a Furby.
Like Gizmo.
Yeah.
This is a great
All right.
character.
All right. So now we've come to me, as I have the final votes, and this wasn't easy. This was a hard pick, but in the end, I got to give it up to Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman gets the number 1 spot on the list.
Nice.
So the top 5 is as follows. As it goes is number 5, Chris Evans, Captain America. Number 4, Chris Hemsworth as Thor. Number 3, Christopher Reeve as Superman. Number 2, Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. And the number 1 portrayal of a superhero, according to the Top 5 show, which of course is the only source, is Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. This is a great show. This is a great way to kick off the top 5. I want to thank my panel. I want to thank Henry Sanchez, who brought me into this show. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Tell us in the comments what you thought of the list, what you think of the new rule changes, because I know this is going to cause a lot of fun in the future, and I can't wait to see how it goes. So, anyways, from all my panelists and my crew, I want to say thank you for joining, and I will see you next week, where we will talk about the top 5 best film franchises. It's gonna be a great episode. Can't wait to do it. I'll see you then.
Hit Girl lives.